You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and if they see it's reported in the press.
Well, we're now hearing from Senator Tommy Tuberville's office after he was skewered on a billboard in Athens. So this digital billboard along Highway 72 takes aim at Senators Tommy Tuberville and Katie Britt, as well as Congressman Dale Strong. The message reads, quote, "The big, beautiful time bomb, cuts to Medicaid coming in 2026, brought to you by Strong, Britt, and Tuberville."
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer. Now let's talk a little bit about the latest we're seeing in attacks on Alabama Republicans and others around the country in response to the big beautiful bill. Yeah, you saw it. They're calling it the big beautiful time bomb. And they're talking about Medicaid cuts, but that's not all. It's disingenuous. It's dishonest. No, let's call it what it actually is. It's just outright lying. Because the simple fact of the matter is the ticking time bomb on this country is not the big, beautiful bill. It's our ever-exploding debt. That's the real issue, and none of them want to actually address this. They're only upset that their particular programs are getting cut. And on the Medicaid conversation, they're not even being remotely honest about what's being cut. The only thing being cut with Medicaid and SNAP benefits as well is people who can work full-time, who are receiving benefits, and who are doing nothing. That's it. If you don't have the ability to work, you're fine. If you have minor children, you're fine. If you're a layabout, you're not fine. And guess what? That has broad support, so that's why you see lies like this. And the lies, they get worse. And don't worry, local TV stations just report those lies. The lies get worse. Tommy Tuberville's voting to close hospitals.
Another billboard claims that Senator Tommy Tuberville voted to close Alabama hospitals. So Senator Tommy Tuberville's office released a statement saying, quote, "Senator Britt and I were able to secure $500 million for Alabama's rural hospitals as part of the One Big Beautiful bill." He went on to say Medicaid benefits will be preserved for the Alabamians who need them most, end quote.
Now, obviously, this is not true either. But it doesn't matter. It's about getting the story out there, getting the lie out there, and having somebody repeat it. Yes, our friends in the media love these billboards because they're snarky and they're clever. It doesn't matter that they're not true. It requires someone to respond to it, and then it requires other people to pay attention to that response once the initial allegation is made. And Nancy Pelosi has laid this out before. This strategy works.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and if they see it's reported in the press that this, and this, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident.
Now, Nancy Pelosi will tell you that she is just explaining how it works, not necessarily advocating for it, but it's exactly what's happening here. There is no question about this. This is a smear, and it's a smear for smear's sake, and everything she laid out is exactly what went down. Someone made up a smear, and the media covered it. Then you make people respond to it. Then you have a story about the smear and the response. But the smear is already out there. It's exactly what's happening here. That's why this kind of big lie works.